Dear students, once again welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about microprocessors as part of your mechatronics syllabus. In today's introduction class, we are going to discuss about what is a microprocessor, what are the classifications, how these microprocessors are classified, what are the main functions, and its architecture. One by one. Microprocessor. A microprocessor is a controlling unit of a microcomputer. It acts as a microcomputer fabricated on a small chip capable of performing arithmetic logic unit operations and communicating with other devices connected to it. In normal computer, we have a central processing unit and it has a huge structure, but in microprocessor it has both ALU unit as well as communicating device. This communicating device is going to interact with the other devices. Microprocessor is a controlling unit of a microcomputer. Is fabricated on a small chip based kit and it performing the arithmetic logic unit operations and communicating with the other devices connected with this microprocessor. Microprocessor, it consists of an arithmetic logic unit, a register array and a control unit. All these three units performing different operations. First one, ALU, arithmetic logic unit, performs all the arithmetic or mathematical and logical based operations on the data what we are received. The data can be received either through the static data or dynamic data. Second one, register array. It consists of registers identified by the alphabet letters B, C, D, E, H, L and accumulator. All these are the addresses where the data is going to be stored. And the last unit, control unit. It controls the flow of data and instructions within the computer. When you are feeding the data into the microprocessor, all the data are processed in the control unit and it controls the data. The basic block diagram consists of a microprocessor which has arithmetic logic unit, processor and control. It has an input device, it has an output device and it has a memory unit. All the data what we are feeding into the microprocessor through the input device is going to be processed in the ALU unit and the corresponding output is going to be shown through the output media or output unit, and all these data are going to be stored in the memory device. How does microprocessor work? The microprocessor, whenever it works, it follows the sequence of order. Initially, it fetches the data. The data can be fed into the microprocessor through the address, through the code. Next, it decodes. Whatever the data we are submitting to the microprocessor, it decodes. If the data is going to be changed based on the microprocessor language, then it's going to execute. This is the order in which microprocessor is going to be work. Initially, when we are going to feed the data into the microprocessor, all those instructions are going to be stored in the memory unit in a sequential order. It's going to follow the numbering system from 1 to 100 or 1001 to 1000, 2000, like that. It's going to, all the data is going to be arranged in a sequential order. Then the microprocessor fetches all those instructions from the memory, then decode it and executes till the operation is going to be stopped. It fetches the data, it collects the data from the memory, it decode it and execute it. Once the execution process completed, later it sends the result in binary to the output port. Through the output unit or output device, it sends the data to the output port. Between these processors, between the input and output processors, we have the registrar. All these registrar are named using English alphabets B, C, D, L, accumulator, like that. To store the temporary data, and the ALU unit. ALU unit is part of the microprocessor which performs all the computing based operations. Yeah. What are the important terms that are used in microprocessor? First one, instruction set. What is instruction set? It is a set of instructions that the microprocessor can understand. Microprocessor cannot understand the ordinary English language. It understands only the set of codes. These codes are called as instruction set. Next one, bandwidth. It is the number of bits processed in a single instruction. It categorized as 8-bit, 16-bit, 32, 64. Recently we have 56 and 86 bit data also we are using, which explains in an 8-bit processor, it processed only 8 digits or 8 bits. Clock speed. Clock speed, it determines the number of operations per second of the processor. It's normally expressed in terms of megahertz or gigahertz. Its clock is also known as clock rate. Clock speed sometimes can be named as clock 2. Word length. It depends upon the width of the internal data bus, registered, ALU, etc. The word length, what is the length of the word, what is the length of the code, that can be determined based on the data bus and register. In an 8-bit microprocessor, it can process 8-bit data at a time. The word length ranges from 4 bits to 64 bits depending upon the type of microcomputer we are using. It starts from 4 bit to 64. Recently we are using 86-bit data also, that can be also processed using microprocessor. Data types. The microprocessor has multiple data type formats like binary, BCD, ASCII, signed and unsigned numbers. It depends upon the application. It depends upon the microprocessor what we are using. We can use either binary code or BCD or ASCII or signed or numbers also. Features: when you are using the microprocessor compared to computer, it's cost effective. The size of the microprocessor is very small. It consumes only less power. For a small kind of operations, we can go for microprocessor instead of using computer. Versatility, it can be used in different domains. Reliable, the failure rate of IC in microprocessor is very low, hence the microprocessor or types of microprocessor or microprocessor classification. Microprocessor classified into 3 categories: RISC processor, CISC processor, and last one, special processor. RISC processor, CISC processor, special processor. Like these are the classifications of microprocessor. These classifications will be explained in the next video or next class. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can contact me through the mail ID specified. Thank you.